Hey, you will make it TV supporters, followers, viewers, supporters, and listeners across the globe. Thank you for tuning in to another live segment here with the You Will Make TV family, where we share inspirational quotes, divine messages, and insightful topics weekly. Okay, my first announcement. Oh, if you're new to the channel, welcome 1,000 times. We've just been here lately covering topics in reverence and observation of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. If you're interested in becoming more aware, going even through some of our most previously recorded segments, and you think you want to share them with another, that's fine too. But what the announcement is first, I cut the chat, I turned off the chat feature for the sake of this stream, but I might start doing it from now on. So the comment section will always be open as far as just the videos after they're posted. And we do ask everybody keep all comment. We didn't say positive. You're open to your own opinions though, but because if they're not that, you know what I'm saying, it can be positive and you disagree with it. Uh, we want everybody's different. We want to be a platform where people can actually voice themselves and safely. That's outside of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Anyways, guys, it just matters in so many different ways. It's we were leaving off talking about earlier how, and I said I would come back with a live topic, probably specifically about this. Like how when you divide the households to begin with, why wouldn't there probably be more entry or vulnerability and all of that once the family is broken up? When it just comes to things a person could occur, when it comes to what could occur in anybody's life, right? Come on. So for the sake of the stream, I did at least try to. Now, if the chat still work, I don't mind nobody showing us some love in the chat and stuff like that. But I did try to attempt to turn it off. The reactions, they're gonna always stay active. Anybody who wants to can always react to any of our content. That's gonna stay open. I guess everybody been doing it different out here, but for me, I said for the live chats over here, you will make it TV. For now, we're gonna cut off the chat section because that's just what we. So nobody have it. It ain't selfish, but I did try it that way for our own streams and everything. But the reactions where you can hit the like button, the down button, the thumbs down if you want to, the heart, all that, the 100 sign. People enjoy that when it comes to live features that come with live streaming. But we just want to keep it like as less toxic, and we want people to feel as safe as possible with their it's not just spoken word when you're talking about what your opinion is and your beliefs, the things that make people sensitive. Because when you're talking about children, how isn't it sensitive? You know what I'm saying? When you're talking about minors altogether and the different just news stories that continue to circulate of maybe even hold preventable, because once again we know accidents are going to happen. It's life, life. Accidents are already, but even in workplaces they have like a system they use where they try to get as many days possible in a year with no injuries at all, like nobody being hurt, nobody suffering an injury, no slips and falls. And companies do a great job, actually. Don't ask me how I know they wouldn't they wouldn't be open and in business if it's just hazards every day. So it's actually a good thing to practice in any environment, right? It's not just being watchful like people say, like watch the kids and watch the babies. They got to be a natural part of watching them too. We understand it's an extra set of eyes, but you already understanding like accidents are real. So you're being, it's like what is watchful? You got to go above. a step above that, depending on how the times change and what's going on out here. Because kids have always been known to go outside, interact, play with other kids, go to school, and have social lives with other people in the real world. It's crazy. They still with their families, of course, but they do get a taste, if you will, of society and what outside is like and what everyday people are usually like. And the more diverse they could learn that it's real, even in modern day society. Like, hey, you're gonna see people that are not like you so much every day, because nobody is just alike. So that's what I did do. I cut the chat feature off for now, guys. Here, people will still be able to put reactions in a live if they want to show maybe their emotions. Cause I do it on live stream sometimes, and it's a way that you're anonymous too, and you can show the channel love. Like, you putting hearts up there on their board, or you putting likes up there on their boards, or 100s, and they don't even know like whose channel is doing it. You know what I mean? But it's just all love. That's on all social media platforms. Like, it started with just the emojis anyway. Like, you wouldn't. People could always comment. That's why I said I'm leaving the comments open for now on any of the previously recorded streams. But as far as the chat feature right here on the lives, I have turned that off at this time for the channel. But that's just how I wanted to start off my announcements with You Will Make It TV, so nobody thought that was strange or nothing. Now, I actually purposefully did this, you know? You want people to feel open and safe. We don't come here to talk for... I don't know what you think. I don't know what they think, but we were always open. That's what I was saying. I was trying to create a safe space or a safe community, even if it's online, because whole groups and social media groups are real, but more groups have been getting exposed. We were just talking about that on the stream earlier. For just kind of leaked messages for stuff they be talking about in the groups. Like, you can't be mad at nobody for that. Eventually, that was probably going to be bound to happen. Any type of data, they the ones want to remind us, like, the stuff you put on the internet, you know, it's there forever. That's some people's opinions. I've heard people say that. They like, it's in a database out there somewhere forever. Like, everything, everything you put on there. It's crazy, really, you know. And we were talking about earlier the story of the 5-year-old baby who was like hurt by other kids. That's what led me to my main reaction and commentary tonight. Just like, when you think about it, anytime you're talking about the kids, it goes back to the family units, because all the kids come from somewhere or came from somewhere. The kids of today, the kids of yesterday, and the kids of the future. I said how I was personally a little sickened, like, whereas I know it's not everybody, but it's a lot of people that just, it has gotten a lot more lenient. Like, do they care? Like, are you watching the news stories? And who's blaming who? There's so many kids were coming up missing and hurt, and now hurt by other kids. It ain't now. I feel like all that's been going on in the world. People of all ages. That's, yeah. Maybe it's just more exposed due to the internet or something. But people act like abuse. Sometimes, yeah, sometimes that's the case. The abuser is older than you, and other times it could be a whole younger person, maybe. That's that is one of those old time stigmas. People probably think abusers are always only older than the victim. That's probably not always true. They could be the same age, sitting there bullying each other, or one of them younger than the other one. It ain't always that the bully can sometimes be the young one. That's what I'm saying. Just in general, when it comes to life, you don't even have to be related to the person. Like, y'all could very well be different ages. Going back to diversity, going back to, are we teaching diversity, or why is it being shunned against suddenly? We got to remember that ain't nobody the same. That's what make us unique. People might have similar likenesses of ways they live their life, but nobody will ever be like just like the next person anyway. You know? Maybe no matter how trendy they make that, it'll never really be that because everybody DNA and genetic codes and stuff are different, right? It'll never be everybody just alike. And people just, that's not raising your vibration. If you go read the description section of this channel, it talks about us actually trying to do that. The little bit we can in our communities and stuff like that. Like, even if it is just coming on here giving your integral speeches or whatever it sounds like to people. That is so crazy. You got more kids being hurt, but at the same time, you have more households that are broken too, and families that are broken at the same time. I wouldn't mention it if it's not happening out here in society. It's not common. What I mean is for you to meet a single parent today, whether it's a single father or a single mother or a single grandparent. Either way, a kid is a whole responsibility. And when you make a family one time with a woman, or you make a family 2 times, 3 times, that now y'all got 3 kids together, that don't mean they was married. So anyways, we were just talking about what modern day culture, I guess quote unquote dating culture been looking like out here modernly. Oh, hold on. There we go. I got it. I guess it's just been a little normalized. Like the people are spoiled. Like we all, I think, feel something coming. Just some of it we don't feel it coming because we're already willing to see enough to. You can't change the world, but already try to grow in your own way, type of deal. Ain't nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. Cause people act like, well, you changed. Why a million people around you didn't? That ain't always a sign that that person change ain't real though. That's crazy. They would stick out like an oddball or something that seems different. So, anyways, if you ever have any topics to me, any open topics, discussion topics, whether it's on a panel, a news station, it doesn't matter. And you're talking about kids, we all know kids come from families, usually news stories, even podcasts or everybody, they're going to include that. Nobody just tells a kid's story and the kid's life was just that. No, it's always adults somewhere. Like, even if it ain't their parents, foster parents, somebody, you know, how it seemed like they was left alone, even if just for a little while. Come on, boo-boo. Thank you. Which was outside in daylight, because a kid probably wouldn't be thinking about what time it is. They just out there probably doing something they didn't have no business doing. But you take your eyes off them. So that is good advice when they be saying, hey, y'all, watch out kids out there. I was just saying, to me, it's even deeper than just watching. Like, what? It's good advice, but that's like pretending that people, even in all you're watching, in the understandable situations where a parent trying to go to work or they got errands to run or whatever going on, they should be able to trust the trusted adults. I wouldn't say trusted by the parent, but most adults should be mature on their level, but they're not because the news short stories show us. Wasn't it a lady recently we were just talking about here on You Will Make It TV? It was another story circulating where she had took the lives of her babies. I know it's a lot of story, pretty much too many to me when it comes to those, but it was just like a recent one. I think two survived or something like that. So you take your eyes off for 1 second, or okay, so you leave them for 1 second. But that's, I was saying, how is that not a natural instinct of kids? Like they already like curious and experimental. Like come on, bro. They have a whole cartoon called Curious George. They could have named that cartoon anything. Thank you, Boom. She just wants to sit with you. Yeah, naturally, kids are like curious beings. So, and then it get even worse like the older they get. Not in a bad way, but it could seem that way if you didn't understand what's going on. But we never want to look like the predators know more about our kids than we do. And that's just where I do speak up in good faith. Like, what? What's going on here? Or know as much as you is crazy. Like, that's clearly trying to take over a person's whole position. Though. Cause it's like, what would your motives be for that? If the person don't know, you know all they business. What is your motive with that? Just more awareness is always good, though. You can see signs of it somewhere. Go that way. Get shit. You're in that car seat. Come on, y'all are being here, Boom. Here, there you go. Here, there you go. No, oh, it's fine. Thank you. It should never get to that to me though. Like, yeah, I know more. That ain't even realistic. The only way you can know more than a parent or get that close and the parent don't know you, like, come on, bro, you own the creep stuff. You own the predator stuff. And this is real. Like, what I was saying on the stream earlier, what seems to be hitting closer and closer to home. Not just my home or the next person's home. Home in society. When officers and leaders could really be having more of a break, all families, just that one change in itself. Families more checking, you know what I'm saying? They already checking they pretty much their territories. Everybody already good. Everybody got their place, they spot, what they doing, how they helping the mechanics work. So everybody don't need emergency situations for violence all the time. Like, and it be whole kids involved. Like, why? Because people be having this much points to prove and all of that. It's just crazy. Because if you down a nation of women, I don't care what nation it is, if you just work literally on a societal mission to put them down and in every negative light possible when you talk about certain things, right? Because you being around black people all your life and you just experiencing a few here and there, to me is two different things. That's me personally. And it would be crazy to go off of one or two or three experiences that you had with any race of people. I just use black people for example, because they are one race, like with a whole different stereotypes, and it's just one race that actually goes through that. Why would you just meet a few of them and assume that as the whole matter for everybody in that culture? That makes no sense. You're gonna meet all kind of people. Once again, going back to that word diversity, bringing it back as a common denominator in households too. Like, it's actually okay to talk about that with your kids. The world is already different. Like, it's a one main spot, but like everybody in it is just different naturally. I think a part of guidance and parenting too is just letting your youth and minors know it's okay to like explore who you are and who you want to be too. And it's probably going to seem like it changes 1,000 times as you get older. Let it look like whatever to people. And it's okay for people to check on you too. That's why they say midlife crisis and stuff like that. People say that's real. It's like what is a midlife crisis? Just like postpartum depression, right? We were talking about that the other day. It's like a whole depression that some women go through shortly after giving birth, or it don't always have to be shortly after. Like I was talking about that too. Like, what if the kids are even much older and the mother shows signs of it later? It's crazy. It don't always lead to like it doesn't have to be unmanaged and stuff like this. Awareness is reminding people too. There is more help than ever now today when you feel overwhelmed. And we're not talking about financial. Like there are people out there, advocacy centers, hotline numbers, and people, even if it ain't people you know directly, that you can talk through maybe situations and problems and things that feel too heavy for you. Even if you're not a religious person, you don't want to go talk to a priest in confessions or just somebody in some type of spiritual ranking like that, because what people go through is different. We were also talking about that too. Like, what if the prevalence, the presence of that is very real too? Like, we were saying it's Halloween month and this whole movies and documentaries out here on. Come on, let's go. Being possessed. We're not even talking about abuse, because to me, a demon possessing a whole kid it is abuse too. Like you just pretty much taking somebody over somebody's whole will every day. That's why they say sometimes it ain't even just having some holy water prayer over yourself to get a demon out of you. It's as simple as willing. I believe willing it away is a real thing too. Because if its presence is there to take over your will, to take over your desires, like you don't even have mostly any of your conscious anymore. Do people know what possessed by something means? That's a little deeper than addicted. That's like your will being taken over somehow, or the intention, or maybe the attempt could be real. Because how do quote unquote demonic possessions even happen to people? It's a great time to talk about it too, because it is Halloween month. But people talk about it all year, honestly, if you're in the right communities where they talk about this stuff. Because why don't we have awareness months for that? Maybe that's what Halloween is about too. Or it's a good time to look at it. If you don't look at it any other time in history every year. Like, go ahead and explore the possibility and realities of demonic possessions. I believe you can even if you're not demonically possessed or somebody's not demonically possessed, a demonic possession can also be like a tangible thing. Like, oh, this tangible thing, this item, could be, you see what I'm saying, cursed or something. Or so, like the Annabelle doll they be talking about. There could be like items that have very, very strong presence of something, outer worldly, not always it fully taking over somebody. But I just think it's interesting first, not in a way where I'm mocking it. Like, it's actually quite interesting. If people don't want to know about that or talk about it or raise awareness about it, it's too late. Like, it's already been proven that people can become demonically possessed. We just need to get deeper in talking about, like, how is this happening to people? Or if something can come in and take over your whole will, why can't you whole will it away? Once you gain some type or form of consciousness of like, hey, I don't like this feeling, like something, this is a stronghold, or this feel like, because most people that's possessed, they feel like they don't control their behaviors anymore. They don't control their thoughts. You take over, you infect a person's mind. Why do you think the devil plays there first with people? He likes to play, because if you're a trickster, if you're a liar, those type of behaviors and acts are usually lined up in the definitions or signs or red flags that you're dealing with a narcissist. Like somebody that just do that repetitively, or maybe it's another condition, right? Like what would cause you to just lie and trick people and, and manipulate them, like all day, every day? Anybody in the world. So I feel like that shows us where the enemy or something like demonic possession might be real. Like, does it trick itself into a person's life? Did it come against a person's will? Because that's really against spiritual law. A person can will themselves back out of demonic possession. If you ask me too, like people make it all just about holy water and rituals and stuff you do specifically, or prayers you might do, which I'm not saying it doesn't probably take that with trying to help somebody rid of demonic possessions. Because yeah, what if the devil is after the youth, the kids, or people? They see stuff. They definitely are sensitive. I believe kids see angels and probably other presence. Just about everybody in the world believe that kids are closer to God. Like people be saying it, and all kind of cultures and religions that I've heard of so far. All of them might believe something different, but they all believe this one thing for sure: that kids are like very, very precious and innocent to God. It's that doesn't mean that they can't do no wrong. Just like God, people is precious to Him, even if they're adults. But they don't mean they can't do no wrong. Like, yeah, I guess I'm trying to say it in a way that people can understand. Just because you love a people don't mean they can't do no wrong. It's like more families should even understand that. We're talking about domestic violence awareness and families and what really is happening to the children at the end of the day. What all are they being more open to, susceptible to, vulnerable to when you don't have the whole fathers on the front lines? They too busy, not all of them, but you had a handful recently here in history just want to publicize how they were walking away from black women for X, Y, and Z reasons. I mean, and it was publicized, and like other cultures saw that as it happened. They like, what do you mean, Sister Whitney? Where are you going with this? Like, man, because it's one thing to just like bring that back up, but it's like, look what all has happened since those type of. I was saying how it easily looks agenda-ish to suddenly try to make one group of women, especially if there's large handfuls of people from that same culture are agreeing with it and saying, yeah, we the ones tired. We tired of whatever. They had a list of different things, like of reasons. I never said I disrespected or nothing, because people have a right to their preferences when they're dating, even in modern day society. Yeah. So people have a right to their own preferences. Whoever they want to date, not date. But I was just saying, why put down a whole another group of people just because you have new preferences? Or I guess people could say that with me too, like both ways. But I don't be putting people down. It's a difference between challenging and just whole putting something down to me. Like challenging it in a way, because some challenges grow people literally, but everybody, I guess, not built to grow that way. So you really can't force that on people. You know what I'm saying? But to them, it can naturally feel like a challenge because you're speaking on or bringing something forth that maybe they have never heard before or they never looked at it that way. Uh, for so long, they only had certain perceptions to believe in and be passed down with. Maybe we do need to get it more credit when people give us a new way to look at something. That's why a lot of people do go to church or they go to mass or they go to prayer temples. You think they just go there to waste their time? They're supposed to be learning their little brighter perceptions, at least on life. That's what the faith is about. Teaching people faith, them putting themselves in something greater, in the hands of something greater, and trusting and believing that it's for the greater good. Anybody can easily fall into, but like I said, they all at the end of the day seem to believe that children are very. Now, some of them, I didn't say I believe in every religion now and why they do what they do and what they believe. Because I know it's some practices that probably exist out there that I'll never probably understand. I don't come to like put people down to make points. Challenges do grow people. Like, at least they can say, well, once I heard a person give this perception, whether they agreed with it or not. It's better than not having any other guidance or direction in life. You at least, even if it's the last thing you do, you can remember something positive somebody told you. Even if that's the last thing you resort to, you would never know it if they never told you. Come on. Your job is not to press whatever the term or issue or whatever you think it should be to me on them. You plant that seed because they might refer back to what you told them, many, even if it's 60, 70 years later. A lot of great wise people said stuff while they was alive, but they didn't get quoted for it until long after they had already left Earth. And then their quotes are suddenly worth more attention or more value because they're no longer here. And some of them they didn't get credit too till like years and years later. They didn't even get acknowledgement. And this happened to black people with a lot of stories where they helped with the very inventions of major things out here that we use today. And they were kind of kept out of, it's a very old practice where they would intentionally leave a certain black member out of certain projects. That's a part of American history that's probably not comfortable to talk about, but it's a real part. Group chats, racist group chats and stuff like this being leaked. Cause it's on the news. Come on, Pooh. They said God know what to do. I don't think they mean it in a negative way, but it's almost like he'll allow things for a little while just to bring people back. Not saying that's what I hope to see or the next person do, but maybe he does know what to allow to get to bringing people back together. I believe he does know what to do to make people come back together is all I was trying to say. Or what to allow. I ain't gonna say it be God's hands per se, making people do evil and stuff like that. You know, but maybe he allows it or allows it to be exposed for a little while so people can get back reminded and sharp and protective and served in areas where they should be. Because the times we living in now, boy, just like that one boy that was on the news, they found him on a college campus. just talking family and emotional support topics as well, where some barriers are absolutely understandable. I'm not saying they're acceptable, but they're understandable when you look at the family dynamics first. Not in a way to be studied forever to me, because that's just weird. It's like, how much more do people need to see if the fathers and strong men are not around in the families to protect the ladies? What do you think happens? You just continue to have nations of women being overtaken? If y'all still with me out there, I'm still here. I do my pause breaks for a second because we don't have a whole panel yet over here. When I do my insightful topics, it's just me as the audio host, but we might get to that level here soon. They want us to give up on the topics, y'all, about black family, but I'm not, cause I could talk about it all day long, and I don't mean in a negative way. Like we're seeing more and more stories. Like I was saying, the boy at the college campus who was found hanging. It's been just them type of instances at the same time where people feel like they're dealing with more agitation, more aggravation, more people like that in the world. Just literally looking to. Now, some places always been known, I guess, like people always said that, like the people seem a little meaner there. Even if you go on vacation or something, like, people are not as friendly depending on where you go anyway. You know what I mean? Depending on what part of the globe you are actually on, you can't expect people to just be all friendly and bubbly. I do understand that about life. So, how are families today teaching, and just in modern day society? It's like what? How are people teaching in their households today, whether there's fathers in them or not? How are we building relationships with our families, as well as how are we teaching them to handle or manage the people around them? And people get mad at you for even having a second that you're taking out with your youth to talk to them about that. Because if they not able to sense out, and no kid is going to be perfect at that or have bodyguards and security around them, like just regular kids in everyday world, yeah, they don't. They're pretty much trusting the world around them. Even when the parent, that was my only problem with them coming on the news talking about everybody needs to go. They was like, everybody needs to go back to work. And we're cutting off all these benefits. Really, that's a person trying to help you. They not telling you what to do, but they advising that you go back to work because they're telling you what they're finna do. Like, hey, we're finna cut off this and that. You might want to go back to work. In the very beginning of my stream, I had a lot of interruptions and distractions, but we're still getting through the topic. So, amen to that, right? The show must go on. Because you never know who will come across these streams. Like, I think that matters. People only talk about, when they talk about domestic violence awareness, like how the household should look, how it shouldn't be toxic, and fighting, and just stuff that shouldn't be around kids. Because domestic violence is not the only reason that kids get taken out of homes, but it is a reason that it has happened, depending on how severe. We're just here to kind of shine light on awareness, insightful tips and stuff like this we can be giving to the world, and every little bit count. You got some people that actually do the footwork. I wouldn't say the person who don't do footwork and just do it on the internet is less significant. To me, when you think about footwork with work, that could be anything today, especially when people leave digital footprints. But they'll say because you're using the internet, you're not exhibiting footwork as far as trying to put forth a mission for causes and advocacy and things you feel like should change in the world. Now, there's going to be different people in different levels of the world they're a part of different advocacy programs. Some for wildlife, some for animal kingdoms, some for forest fires, some for recycling, some for the water of the world, like how they filter and clean the water, purification systems. Like there's people who care about many different things. No one person can care about everything in the world at the same time. And they can make a big, probably, impact and change. But like I said, just about the demonic possession part, a part of it have to be that person's own self-will. Once people learn that, they probably will break out of all kind of spells. Like, oh, it's that the whole time? That's exactly where the devil rather see you be. Comfortable and submitting and transforming and morphing and just slowly accepting what's not even natural to begin with. Why would he want to let people speak out about, like, no, this is wrong? And I think people's delivery matter. That's why I said the footwork is cool, because y'all know tomorrow it's a lot of people going out for protest, another No King's Day protest across the nation. So that's just what I mean. Some people mean literal footwork like that. Like, are you getting out, starting some kind of cause or change to change things? But who said footwork is just actually going out showing your physical presence? Maybe that's the way advocates have always done it, but that's not the only way it can be done. I believe that. I just thought I would make it my mission though. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off this feature. I'm gonna try to do it every time I go live, but maybe I'm just more focused on when I say I come to bring reactions and commentary. I can be more focused on it if the live chat is just off, because now you know you're not heard for what the people are responding in the chat and how much attention you getting. It's just straight topic, and people can still hit the reaction buttons, the hearts, the likes, the angry buttons, all that stuff. You can still hit that, you know what I'm saying, as we're live, and put your reaction or leave your own personal comments in the chat. You don't always have to be talking about your personal life. People been saying that so long about social media, it's ridiculous. Who does? Just some people do. They just get on the internet and talk about their life. But here go another true statement too. Some people don't talk about it on the internet. Some people talk about it on the phone. That's still your own fault if you put your personal business out there. Like, whether it's on the internet, on social media, or you talk to somebody on the phone. There's no difference. You're doing the same thing. Or you're talking to a person in person, and you just start talking about yourself and talking about your business, or what they would think is that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see what people mean with that. Like, oh, you gotta be careful with what you put on the internet. You always had to be careful, even before the internet. Somebody just too much information. So we was talking about on the last stream too, how that's another part of modern day dating culture too. You notice that, like, people seem to get married faster. They don't even get married faster. Before they get married faster, they move in together faster. They be dating 2 or 3 months. 2 or 3 months, maybe 6. But I did see one TikTok story. They're a happy couple and everything. People just ask them a lot of questions though, because it'd be like, so y'all only been dating a year, and they have a very nice pad, a very nice loft on the beach somewhere. You see what I'm saying? But still, is that trading that for value? Like, oh, because this is nice, I'm gonna go ahead and move in with this person way sooner than a person that's actually just work a regular hard working job. They can't afford a loft on the side of the beach. That person, you make them wait a whole year or two before he even know where your address is. But a man come with 60K, making 60K a year, got a loft on the beach. You'll move in with him in 2 and 3. This is what it's like living amidst this culture. Now me, I was just saying that's going too far. Like, no matter what culture you are, just, oh, I'm gonna move in with you after 2 and 3 months. Just because he makes 60K a year, 100K. I'm just trying to throw some numbers out there, but something that's realistic. and you go move in with that person in a sooner amount of time, but a person that worked 12 hours a day just to make ends meet, he gotta get to know you a longer time before you even consider moving in, into the same place with him. So I kind of see what men, I can see where the fatigue came from a little bit, especially if society started praising that type of behavior. Like, yeah, y'all just be after the man finances. Yeah, if he making that much money, you supposed to jump on that, girl. You know how people talk, or you might get considered crazy or slow, or somebody thinks you're out of your mind because you didn't take an agreement or a contract that didn't give you allow you enough time to even consider if that's what you really want to do. Let's remember the contract is just that. It ain't no good without, most people know that. It's no good without a signature. Most people don't go as far as a signature unless they agree with every single term on this contract. So it's crazy the way that people have started playing with contracts and documents and paperwork and stuff in the world. But now wonder they're finna go to digital identifications. Digital currency, digital identifications. I think something else with even social media. They was already talking about the metaverse, turning Facebook into the metaverse, like where it ain't even people interacting no more. It's just straight avatars. Yeah, just remember, if nothing else that I said on here, that if you begin to look at your obstacles as challenges rather than obstacles, you're looking at those obstacles in a new way. An obstacle is almost like you feel like it's a whole barrier, like you will never get over it. But if you just look at it as a challenge, challenges, that's the thing about challenges. Challenges can be challenged, like it's actually allowed. And a challenge is not a competition. There's a whole likelihood that people don't defeat challenges, like or they don't overcome them. They don't get the lesson out of the challenge. They don't end up growing through the challenge. If you get challenged in a certain type of puzzle for so long, you're gonna slowly and slowly get better at that puzzle game. It's already been proven. If you study dominoes, nothing but dominoes and card games and stuff like this, any game, like a mastery type puzzle game, just talking about muscle memory and stuff like that too, because muscle memory doesn't just have to be exhibited through people remembering and being bound by their past traumas. Why were we talking about demonic possessions? Because some people believe it's like young people being. Because why do they call it demonic possession? Well, you can have whole physical products that's demonically possessed too, like cursed objects. But people forgot that self will is a whole part of this thing here. Where does self will matter? They be saying everything starts internally and with the mind. Well, it's true. It starts with the mind, and the reason that the mind is attacked first so much is maybe the enemy already knows there is power in self will. Why you think he comes so fast to tempt it? To tempt your natural self will that you have about yourself. Like, just attempt you going against, and you notice everybody's temptations seem to be different. They might be similar in some ways, but it do seem like the devil come up with a million tricks for everybody in the world, like different temptations for them, specifically designed for them. But you're gonna tell me self-will doesn't have power then? Like, people will, whether they put will into doing something positive or will into doing something negative, that's whole proof that people have self-will, or something that may had no effect at all. And even the things that look like they have no effect at all on people do. So it's just really crazy to think about. I wasn't being funny. I said maybe there's no rituals and stuff like that needed at all. Like, it's pretty much, I understand assistance and helping somebody to tap into that. Like, hey, you a part of deliverance. Doesn't that have to be you preparing, you know, you having some type of self-will? Because to sit there and to prepare for something too is a form of self-will. You might not even made it to the destination yet, or succeeded in that area yet. But the fact that you are preparing, or you are, because a part of preparing is building your knowledge about something too, or learning more. Because, like, what else is preparing? It's taking notes. It's, you know what I'm saying, actually preparing for something. When you take the time to prepare for something, I was just saying, that's another exhibition of self-will. We know parentings, families, households definitely consist of a lot of preparations, especially for the children and youth futures. And it's so crazy. You could be preparing, like, because who sits in a situation they don't want to be in? And we're not talking about, like, people in the families they make. You see more open opinions and expressions today of what people feel about families and households when news started coming out that certain government benefits were pretty much people saying they being cut, but that's not what it is everywhere. What it is, they sending notices first. They letting people know. We have new regulations now. We have new regulations now. Like, you might have to exhibit a certain amount of hours and, you know, submit proof of a certain amount of hours that you have either contributed into obtaining an education, getting a job training somewhere. Because some job trainings, let's talk about like medical assisting or phlebotomy or paramedic, firefighter, police academy. There are some like shorter term trainings that you might have to partake in, or maybe getting your security license. You wouldn't have to be in school for a year to get a level 1, level 2, level 3 security badge. Well, clearance, like the actual license. But it still might take a period of training. Okay, so they're saying it have to be something like that, like you into a training or work, an actual job. Why do they mention work even to receive the benefits now? That's just a new qualification. If you're a single household, there's a certain threshold of hours they want you to meet per month if you're going to continue to receive assistance. Now, this is in some states. Others are just sharing stories of people saying their benefits was cut off. Some states, it is a cut in a way because they already know it's going to be a cut. When you considering you're requiring people to submit hours to show proof of what they're trying to do to change their life, that's where you start seeing people comments of like, oh, why they complaining? They should be able to feed their kids. They had them, boom, boom, boom. Just because people coming out telling their story saying they don't know how they going to eat and stuff because this stuff is being cut off. They had trending topics at one point about the food ration boxes that they might end up giving out if they have to, if we go into another state of emergency for some reason, a national emergency. They like food ration boxes they was gonna send to people doors. Like, imagine what kind of crisis it would take for it to have to get to that level. I just don't believe that a whole group of women, things could get so bad that they literally push their culture of men away from them. I just don't believe in it. Because some people, if they chose to like turn gay or like be interested in the opposite sex after they've already made a family, it's like, yeah, pursue your happiness. You have a right to do that because that's a constitutional right. But what are you doing to the family that you're leaving behind? That's why most of them try to live two lives too, though. They don't want to look at themselves as, oh, I'm splitting up a family because I want to go not only be in another relationship, but be in a relationship with the same sex. It's a lot of that going on today. It's not judging anybody's lifestyle. It's like that part of it, though. They'll say, well, you're teaching your kids this and that. Don't worry about what we showing our kids. When you hold just living a natural way, which is in a relationship or not at any given time, it seems to be a group of believers out there or something that believe that all women, I think they just don't like to see women thrive like without, because that's not the woman's fault if you choose to step out of the relationship or go even be with the opposite sex, whatever they be doing out here, or go include other parties. Because every woman not into that, and how can you blame women then for your preferences? It's your identity to begin with. It's what made you happy to begin with. You cannot, this is just my reaction to this topic when it comes to like Black Lives Matter movements. And like I showed that one picture on the thumbnail, it's a Black Lives Matter logo, but it has the pride flag behind it. And the reason that logo is posted on the thumbnail is because it's a real logo. It's saying, yeah, like Black Lives Matter, even the in the rainbow community. That's what whoever created that flyer believed. And then you have the Passport Bros, just these different sectors of groups that have their own similar, separate interests and beliefs, that they stand on. And what's crazy, at any given time, they whole group could believe that it should go back to the old way. They just saying it in so many ways, like, make America great again. Some people, it's different levels of periods of history in America. That's why we asked them, what period of America then are you talking about when you say great again? The periods of the early 1900s, I was just saying, for a long time right here in this country, women did stay home. They didn't work like that unless they were doing ladylike jobs like teaching or maybe a cook or like maiden jobs, indentured server jobs, servant jobs, nanny jobs. You didn't see women probably driving buses back then or driving taxis back then. It's just a lot of stuff. It the society hadn't evolved in this way yet. People have to remember that when it comes down to discussing modern day family households and what that look like. You can't just snarl your nose up at it and not care about history at all. All women, no matter what race they were more at home with their children and their families and their neighbors and whoever else they would chit chat with throughout the day, and they would make community with one another as women in these same towns, villages, and communities. That's why they'd be like, it take a village. But okay, let's talk about it. Like it was easier for it to take a village back then because more of the women were actually at home. It wasn't going to cost them an arm and a leg just to stay home, like which was normal for a whole woman to do. Because there is a lot of women that come in and listen to our channel, and men too. And I try to keep my topics versatile, so you don't just sound like you're advocating for one side of people all the time. When you consider yourself a humanitarian, it'll never just be about one group of people. That's your point. That's the point I be making. So anyways, women of all cultures and races, that was just the, we're not talking about the modern way, we're talking about the past and the history of America and a lot of other countries. The women, and I was just saying it's a real possibility because these racist group chats and stuff like that might have been leaked, but I know it's other groups out there that just have probably groups like those where it might not be about racism per se, but it's more about women in general. Like a whole attack against the culture of women altogether. That ain't even just talking about any specific race, just women and children. So it's definitely a whole like red flag sign. Like, hey, what's happening to all? Because even since history, since the beginning of time, men were always the ones that go out and hunt and be the protectors and be the leaders. I don't know what it became once these, like, to me, domestic violence stories started getting more attention. That's another factor. You know, people would say it was government benefits that split up black family homes. But what about that kind of stuff that has nothing to do with the government at all? Like people just, groups of people being so violent with each other. They call it black on black crime, where they actually don't mind showcasing like what they'll do to one another. And it just continues to cycle and like go on. And I was saying, look, our abuse continues to be used as one of the number one tools to keep a people subjected to, you know, a one-way train of thinking. Is crazy. Because if people only train of thinking an option that they're being given is free all the time, where do you expect, how far do you expect those people to go? Like every generation, the first thing fed to them and placed in front of them is some type of fear or weird feelings in it. It's just sad to think about that some people's lives actually be like that. Like little babies don't make it past the age of 1. It's a real reality in today's time. Because, like we were saying, people say it in the comments of the tragedies of these terrible stories of things that happen to kids and stuff. In the care of people they should have trusted, especially when they were adults, even if they're not their biological parents at that time, that's when people will say, well, this or that needs to change. People need to stop bringing their kids around so many people. And yeah, that's true. But look at the realities of the world, too. Like, a lot of adults, like just because they out here on the dating scene, do not mean they are patient enough to be around somebody's kids. That's another point that people be making as far as getting to know people. You can test a person maybe by going to the whole park as a date without your kids, because other kids gonna be there, and just kind of see how this person interacts in an environment of kids if you really must know. But you should care. And that goes both ways with the women and the men. When people got more comfortable and that became a priority more than their own family units, what pleases them, what gives them the most top priority satisfaction, what makes them look the most powerful based off of how many women they can have access to at any given time, it's crazy. I'm coming. Thank I told y'all I'm for a few hours tonight, because these topics are actually long overdue. But it's not that people don't talk about it already. It's just like when I said that, I mean like the new perceptions. It's like you waited around long enough to see how the outdated ones was like affecting people, literally. Not to, because like I said, to me it ain't nothing wrong with challenging things. Maybe some people do need a little coaching and guidance. You gotta show them like, hey, you can't just challenge anything, any level of power and authority. Like, I guess that's people's main objective and goal, to show everybody, like, because nobody wants to look weak. All at the same time, people are looking weaker. They still looking weaker. Because if the babies and stuff are being attacked, how do you look powerful? Like, what does your power mean? People was hollering the American dream. The American dream definitely always consisted of a strong household family unit. And the American dream is a historical quote too. It's like a historical saying. They've been saying it for many like generations. Like, oh, everybody wants the American dream. A nice beautiful house, a couple of dogs, some kids, the husband, the wife, the transportation, like all the basic necessities of life, plus a stable, healthy family. And then boom, you're living the American dream. You're working a job, you're paying your taxes, and everybody's happy. And why is there such a challenge? So, anyways, people don't want to look at that. Let's really look at the world. Like, people don't want to really take accountability. Like, that's why they call it immediate families versus just extended families. You'll hear that term a lot in the news too. Like, extended and immediate is the same thing, but it's two different things. Those immediate ones are like those closest ones to you. The extended is always the extended. It's been too much like normalizing in society, extended members dictating what immediate families do. Like, I think being support is a little more than that. Do marriages even receive as much support? Of course they do. They still have like conferences and activities and trips, all kind of creative stuff out there for married couples to indulge in. And I commend the ones that are staying busy with those type of healthy activities with their families. Because, some of the stories on the news, it's because these couples didn't get to know each other well enough. There's never an excuse for hurting a child, but you going to work, you leave a child with your boyfriend. You come back, the child is no longer living. These stories already been exposed on the news. And then people, the mom be charged because you left the child with, you trusted this boyfriend that you claim you so in love with. And now you do look at the races and cultures, because what's been going on in the world that these young women don't have nobody else. That's what I used to look at. Yeah, the child life is lost, and the man gets served time, and the mom probably gets served time. But where was where was the assistance or the support? Why is she leaving said child with a boyfriend at any given time? When there's daycares and after school facilities and programs, it's like they seen people catching on to that. Like, oh, okay, I'll try to be more independent with, because they definitely saying it in the comments about towards those stories of people who was complaining about food stamps and stuff being cut off. They was like, y'all had them, you take care of them. Okay, but when you see people moving in that direction too, leave them alone. Don't try to harass them with the thought of how scary life and burdensome life should be for them because they single parents. Because benefits are starting to be cut off. That's crazy. So we could read through the lines to some of the comments out there too. Like, I they should keep doing it. Just hold. I was just saying they look a little agenda-ish for it. Put them when they was on that protest, say they was walking away, but they definitely made it like some type of funny. Maybe they weren't being funny. They were being serious. Like, hey, we're done with black women. They made a whole public movement about that. The Passport Bros is just one example of that. And then it's like you heard maybe the people in the comments, I don't know who they be. Not my comments, just comments of certain news stories. I don't know who they be because some of them people be trolls and stuff. Just looking to put like rage bait on the internet and get reactions out of people. You notice the enemy's presence with that been more prevalent in the world today? Like something out here seeking energy so bad, like seeking a reaction out of people. Remember me just talking about self-will? That don't underestimate the power of self-will when it can be positive as well. Because that's not you trying to get they'll accuse you. Well, you trying to get a reaction out of me, not giving me a reaction. It will show a lot about you if you have a reaction because I won't give you a reaction. It shows a lot about a person. Number one, number one, why are you trying to trigger like a reaction out of somebody anyway? I just think it's even crazier to try to trigger the reaction, then also have a reaction to the person not having a reaction. That shows even deeper about you. If a person don't give you a reaction and you have a whole reaction to that, it just says a lot. Cause it's a spirit really running rampant around here in the world today that's actually feeding off of it. Who and where it can get a trigger, you know what I'm saying? A whole like I can't say it don't happen in my world too. I just say I try to have as much because you can never have control over people, but as much control over myself. When I sense, when my radars and senses go off that somebody trying to do that, period. Even if I had to take a lot of breaks and pauses, we got this stream topic out and left some good, positive, strong perceptions for people to refer back to sometimes, or even consider as an option in their own lives, right? Just being more careful about what we're reacting to. I don't even have a exact reason. It should make people feel like that's against their self will anyway. They can use their self will to okay, Pooh. They can use their self will to not react to a situation if they want to. It's just a strong exhibition of one's self will. One's self will would even cause them to want a reaction out of another person. I don't know why a person's self will would be that, and that's powerful. But a person tapping into their own self will not only could maybe prevent demonic positions and stuff like that, but also bring them out of it. Cause now they didn't do nothing but what? Tap into their own self will. Like, no, I'm not gonna let this control me today. It's crazy. It starts as a simple thought. Nobody's doing that for you. That's what self will is. And there's some people that have already grown to that level. That way, when it happened to you, everybody not gonna be able to understand it, but they know exactly what you're going through. Like, you found the power of self will. Why would the devil want people? I ain't gonna say the devil. Let me just say it's some teachings out here that like why are a lot of religious backings go back to like giving up your of all things your self will first. Your self will would be like your mind, your soul, your being. Like if you're gonna be unselfish and walk in quote unquote Christ first, for example, that's you giving your self will to Christ. I'm now living like this Bible tell me to live versus how my normal self will would. Regardless of what you give your self will over to, it is a powerful thing. They just want to point the flashlight spotlight on certain religions that people will over to. I don't say that's enough. Actually look at the religion. Then, because even in every religious sect, Everybody not gonna be just as like, oh, y'all should be not eating meat because y'all Muslim. There are very much so some Islamists and Muslims that still eat meat. Like, they probably wouldn't like it, but you gotta let people live their life. If they say they Muslim and they still eat meat, how you gonna say they not really Muslim because they? I mean, so maybe that's their way of admitting, hey, you agree to turn your whole life over once you join certain religious things. Like, it's not just you going around saying that you are that. Some religions have such a historical background. That's another thing. A lot of religions look way different from what they did, like when what they started in ancient days, because a lot of religions are that old. They're ancient. Even when you talk about practices from different cultures around the world, like they've been practicing it for thousands and thousands and thousands of centuries. I mean, centuries is centuries, thousands of years. Y'all know what I mean? Generations, like a long time. And that's another thing. Like, people don't practice it exactly because back then I feel like they more kept record of the law. You know, they just didn't go past certain boundaries. You did have those stories, I guess, where they did, even in biblical texts. But even then, you seen God's presence where he have to come in and uh they was saying David even talked about it. Like, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. That didn't mean David didn't come against attacks by people who didn't love God and stuff like that sometimes, just because he was a child of God. Even his prayer shows us that the type of things he was praying about. And they were saying it was other things in the book of Psalms that show us that David was fighting some supernatural battles in his life. Because why would people that have no type of like, they have no similar nothing about them. Like, all of y'all are different, but all of y'all don't know why. You just don't like David. That's the kind of stuff he was going through, like, that he would have to pray about. Like, none of these people have a real association with one another. Some are priests, some are kings, some are regular police, some are women, men. All they know is all of them had a different opinion about David, which in return led him to feel a little persecuted in life, led him to feel a little stepped on sometimes, led him to feel like, hey, I have enemies out here. The whole book of Psalms is this man praying about, literally, I ain't gonna say, I mean, some of it is about him just giving praise and like referencing who God is and how much he loved God. But most of the other parts of Psalms is like pretty much prayers. And if you really take time to read the thoughts that was coming out of this man's heart, like, to God, he had to be going through some things. And that's how some of us is in life. Everybody don't show their business on social media. You know how you knew people business back in the day? It was right there in your face. You couldn't hide nothing. Wasn't no camera footages, and it was though. You had VHS tapes and stuff. It's just crazy to know that people can be brought in the world whole recorded. Literally, there are some people who record births the day you were born. And what's crazy, the baby don't get a choice in it. The baby just get to see the video later and be like, oh, mom, that's cool. You kept the video. Or mom and dad or grandma, whoever recorded. You kept the video all these years of the day I was born. But really, people just look at it as sweet. They don't look at it as morally wrong because the baby doesn't even get a say so. And if they wanted to be on camera as a young infant. Hold on, boo boo. There you go. Is that better? Move your feet over here. There you go. Thank you. Here, we're watching. It's just deep, like how it go all the way around, because it really is people out here that still think that way. That's not the only part of it. They think, oh, less fathers are in the household because less black fathers are in the household because women chose government assistance over men. Like they kept some kind of secret list. I wouldn't doubt it, of women they felt like chose assistance over the presence of their man. Because for some women, that would have meant no matter what lifestyle that man is living, You're just staying the faithful, committed woman and wife of this man's life, which there's nothing wrong with that, just so your kids can have a sense of worth of family. I'm not gonna lie, I used to actually think that way too. Like that it's a better, like that it's a sacrifice worth making, even if you know that, like, yeah, I'm a witness. You can feel like even if you're not extremely 100% happy in a relationship, that you should stay in it just so your kids keep. It's more than just them having the image of a father, but now you actually do have that stronger man presence in the house where if you did need to be protected or you did need assistance or you did need help financially, he is there regardless of what lifestyle that man live, right? But we live in a new time where depending, we're not saying regardless, depending on the lifestyle that man lives, it's going to affect the whole family unit anyway. It's going to affect the woman somehow. It's going to affect the kids somehow. And we're not talking about extended family right now, like other family members it would affect. We're talking about immediate ones that would actually be in the household. I've heard people argue that no matter what lifestyle the man lived, the reason in the older days they could keep men in the home is they weren't so quote unquote bitchy and naggy and they feel like women today are more bullies or try to be in control of everything. In Western culture they feel like that, and in Western culture dating societies. Remember the news story of the young lady who went on a date, but the suspect they end up catching was a gentleman. The dad came on the news and was like, I never known my daughter to date that type of people. Like, it was already shocking that he hearing that his daughter was found, different pieces of her body was found, spread it out. Like, that's crazy in itself to find out. Then when they try to show you, like, who the suspect is, you saying, like, if I know my daughter, like I know my daughter, like they'll sit up there and play with you like that and challenge you like that. Like, so she was old enough to date and everything. They don't look like the type of person she would choose. So they were saying there was a possibility she could have been catfished, or maybe she was into a certain thing and her dad just didn't know, because you can feel like your child better than them, but they actually get to an age where they're into things that you have no idea about. But I thought that was interesting when that father had came on the news and said that, I told y'all I'm gonna stay on for a few hours tonight. It's Friday. People might be looking for cleaning up or cooking or whatever. And You Will Make It TV is one of your options. We are back here weekly, and like I said, our topics are very versatile, because that's the last thing we want is to feel like, because like that is what's different about my channel. I switch up the topics a lot, but I feel like I want to change it a little bit and more stick to one main awareness topic weekly, so people already really know what our main focus is here. And You Will Make It TV, not just inspirational quotes and stuff, but who is your target audience, right? Like, it could be anybody, because anybody can use inspiration, you know. What I was saying is the black households got broke up from those who chose government assistance over keeping a family unit. It's like, what is this? Some kind of test to see what every black family would choose? Because you do have a lot of people who pay money into the prison systems. They end up having to, because their loved ones are in there. That's you taking care of two households. Let's put it like that. Y'all know how men was like, they'll brag about like, oh, I should be able to have as many households as I want. I'm the man. I'm providing for everybody. But see, what are you forcing women to do when you go into the systems like that? She's now providing for two households. Or if it's a woman in the situation that ends up incarcerated, he's taking care of two households naturally, because you're way miles away now in a jail facility. And it becomes, I saw an article about that we was talking about too on one stream, how I said, why aren't people talking about this more then if this is true? They were saying how more households were struggling from trying to help loved ones that were incarcerated. So just imagine, because I thought hearing that people spending their money on certain celebrity concert tickets, prioritizing concert tickets over their rent was crazy. This was even crazier. I wouldn't say this is crazier. This would be more understandable because most people feel like they'll do whatever, right, for the ones that they love, and they'll try to be there as much as they can be there. But you are naturally putting the burden on the woman when you go into the prison system. They don't be wanting to talk about that, but you're saying you left a culture or a group of women due to their attitudes or X, Y, and Z. And you group up other men to try to side with you about that. What, I'm not talking about nobody particular. I'm talking about when these groups rose, not just Black Lives Matters, but you had the pride side of Black Lives Matter too, where they were advocates for black and ethnic, culturally ethnic LGBT community. Okay? So you can be any race and be LGBTQ, but Black Lives Matter pride was, you know what I'm saying, more of advocation for those who were black and also LGBTQ. Not just black, but like I said, ethnically culturally ethnic. Okay, so it was groups like that that I'm talking about, and Black Lives Matter, and all of them. What I'm saying had similar calls when it came to the same groups of people, but they all do different type of work for the black people, is what I'm saying. And it does seem like they tried to demonize each and every one of them. I'm not gonna lie, even the Passport Bros. The live topics I was doing about the Passport Bros was not to demonize the Passport Bros. I just thought even then, when they were being more public about their mission, you know, to find better women to date that weren't black, I thought it was interesting at the time. Like, this is crazy. It did feel like a whole reaction invoking attempt. My question still is, how were they expecting black women to respond? Of course, some of them came out publicly and respond and like comments and stuff, but it seemed like another attempt just to hold chip at the black women race or something. Like, yeah, we walking away from y'all now. Y'all make, it's because they were saying today, because they can make more money. Literally, some relationships are like this, where the women can make, they might potentially be in a position where they make more money than a spouse. What do y'all think about that? And it's some relationships that work out just fine. They have an understanding. I just saw a post the other day of a marriage sharing their story a little bit, or sharing that side of what they go through. But they were saying how they had grown to be used to it, accustomed to it. Like, she's with a man that's okay with that, and he equally supports helping make sure the kids are safe, fed, and cared for and tend to while she makes the money. That's a whole game changer. And I'm not gonna lie, like, it doesn't matter. This is not a black couple. Like, one of them might have been black in the marriage, but shout out to that couple again, because those stories do matter, and we see them out here, and they're needed. They're needed in this time in modern day society too, to show people, why are y'all out here arguing or being envious of one another because of one another's status or financial situation, when we know if you're together as a family unit, that's both of y'all money. That, if that's your husband money, that's the wife money. If that's the wife money, that's the husband money. Like, since when do you hear more relationship scams, dating scams, whole marriages having one of the spouses having their accounts hacked? Of course, that's going to affect the whole family unit, even if it's a whole mom and dad in the household. If the wife card get hacked, that's going to affect everybody. If the husband bank account get hacked, that affects everybody. And there's been a lot of news stories of it happening to people. That alone. I'm so sick of people keeping these topics one sided. Like, I don't mean it in a way that I'm so angry I can't, because I was just talking about that. And I said, how do we control our reactions? Emotional intelligence. People will call themselves intelligent. Emotional intelligence is a whole nother level of your brain. Are you easily triggered? And they say if you're easily triggered and people can just get to you all the time, something is unhealed in you. Like, why are you so easily triggered about certain? Have you been through something? Do you not like that person? Two people can tell you the same thing, but the first person that told you because you didn't like them, you heard their words, but you just couldn't accept what they told you. But another person come tell you, and you like receive it. That's how it be in the world. So back to what I was saying, they was just coming out openly saying they were done with black women. They're switching races of women that they suddenly want to be with. But what I was noticing, it wasn't even them switching cultures and races of women. They were whole deciding, some of them, to date the opposite sex. Well, maybe they feel like, hey, other cultures of women just accept us. No matter what our sexual preferences are, they're not going to try to tell us we can't be gay and they can't date us because maybe other cultures are more open and, you know what I'm saying, to those type of behaviors. But like I was talking about on the stream earlier, they can't deny that those type of behaviors are not also affecting society. Like people just wanting to date around more openly and have, they want the full self will over. Y'all probably feel like my topic is all over the place, but if you want to get more of a gist of what you're coming in on when you come over here on the live, you just read the title of the live stream tonight. How I feel like there is some kind of sideline back in sneaky way. We could talk about that part all day long, but it's the fact, like, why do these kind of agendas exist? Like, what, yeah, people feel like they want to see America go back to the old way, and that's just a part of it. That's a part of American history. Once upon a time, women were more at home. The men made more of the financial decisions and more of the did more of the work and was more of the face, the household face and name. And more people were married back then. Girls were actually raised and taught and guided to be prepared to be young wives one day. That was just the way of society. And this was just modern society. I mean, not modern society, like everyday society back then. This was the norm. Women might have had jobs at like dry cleaners where you're handling laundry for people all day. Like I said, just more soft skill jobs. Today, you might see a woman working at a construction site. You didn't see that in the 1920s or late 1800s. Today, you might see a woman she work at a construction site, or she's a truck driver. You might see women electricians, women mechanics, women maintenance handymen, women locksmiths. These are things you might see today. Women pilots. The soft jobs like teachers and clerks and clericals and librarians and stuff like this, that's about all you would see them doing back then. If They were probably either didn't have kids or more up in age where their kids are off to college. College was also more encouraged. So I guess there's nothing any of us can do to stop the advancement of society. That's already happening. How much quicker people are becoming aware, how much quicker people learn and grow, how much quicker people expect convenience. Thank you. Because if society is already advancing, yeah, I guess over time, where families not able to keep up, so the contribution of some of these advocacy programs for black people, it's like a band-aid to me, a little bit, without the power of self-will too, because people can help you all they want to, but if you don't have the will to heal, if you don't have the will to get better, that's why when you're discharged from the doctor or the hospital, they're going to have some aftercare instructions, and that's always your self-will. If you actually take the instructions, the doctor might give you a prescription, the doctor might say work out 3 times a week, the doctor might say no more salt, no more sugar. That doesn't mean that if a person don't use their own self-will and tell themselves, yeah, I'm going to do these things on the list to help myself get better, they've already gave you all the band-aids they could. That's the point of discharge. They've given you all the medicine, the band-aids, the surgery they could right there at the doc. The other 30, 40, 50% is going to be you and your self-will willing. You got to want to get better, because if you're not following the instructions on the aftercare papers, how are you going to fully heal? That's the whole part of medical treatment today. So it matters in emotional intelligence and stuff too. We just got to be considerate. So like I said, the news already leaked one group chat. They also, I saw on the news today, it's another group they talking about been out here supposedly targeting kids and teens, called 764. This is a domestic violence awareness stream tonight, live topic. So for anybody coming in wondering what we talking about, these of course they use anonymous names of what they call themselves. I had to be careful with that back in the day because it's so easy to get wooed or influenced. Once again, it takes time to get to know people. People be acting like you automatically just know who they are. Like some people might automatically get a lot of clout, but they can't get offended if somebody don't know who they are like that. They have to get to know you. You expect them to just know what you indulge in, what you do, who you be with every day? No. But you just expect them to trust your presence like that around them though. You got social influence, peer pressure, all of that is very real, even in the lives of adults. But when you have family units, if those were being put first, people would be way too busy to be worried about other people. Like, if people was only focused on the insides within their own families, households, and bloodlines, and immediate families like that, how do you have time to be, I don't know, even focus on what a whole nother person going through? I hope this is an enjoyable stream so far. Like I said, I'm going to go a few hours on this stream because it's a very important and needed topic in this time in society anyway, even if it's not Domestic Violence Awareness Month, you know? I was saying, what if that's what opens doors to it in the first place is broken families? Broken units that should naturally, you have a natural right to defend your families, just as the law. Now, friends, extensions, anything else, It's self-will. It go back to that word again. It's if you know what I'm saying? Because love will lead you to protect things and, maybe go toward, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it, but you can exhibit certain behaviors or emotions when it comes to love and protecting people you love. And it's like people just want to see you go in an all out war these days. Once again, it could be about that, like reaction. If you choose to walk away and go have a new dating preference, anybody in the world, and just you want to showcase that, like, yeah, I'm dating these now. And these type of, okay, people would be happy for you. Like, wow, you found something that you like. And you found something that likes you. That's what love is about. Don't y'all know? People have always said love. Some be saying love is blind, but I don't believe it. If anything, love don't see, but it's not because it's blind. Ain't that deep? That's a quote I should do tonight. I always that quote always didn't sit well with me. Like some people say that as relationship advice when you need to leave somebody, when you need to leave somebody alone, but you can't see that. Yeah, because some people they break up, get back together. Why does this matter? Any behaviors a relationship exhibits in their family, there are kids in a family unit. This is where they're learning their first signs and healthy, and some people they be doing a great job at her. And they feel like, hey, long as I'm and I encourage anybody to do that. Like I said, if everybody putting their own families first, what's the harm done? It actually makes causes less in the world. But even back in these days when the wife stayed home, it didn't mean people didn't experience biasness. That's why these certain uh, civil rights movements did have to happen, not just for like black people in this country, but sometimes women or maybe workers unions and other type of different cases in the history of America. They've even had real on this soil in our country. They've had real witch hunts in history, whether it was the 1700s, 1800s, 1600s. It's a part of history where people were hold drug in the court before to have to answer. Uh, I just think it's horrible. But I did my own version of a research study about it at one point. I might go back over that again because it's just crazy to know that they actually had to come in and amend those laws and change that because they didn't want to do like public executions anymore of people for that, which I think is a great advancement. It's like, what are people trying to show? When I said that, I be being funny, like, but it's really not funny. Like, what are they trying to show? Like, oh, we should have kept this here, or we're gonna try to move it back. You're saying make America great again. We're gonna try to move it back to where we were able to accuse people of these things. I mean, if you're a witch, you're a witch, no matter what you are in life. It just comes back down to spiritual law in general. And I didn't even know once upon a time spiritual law was probably a real thing. Like, I didn't look at the Ten Commandments the same, or commandments, or the concept of commandments in any type of way the same as I do now. When I first like learned about the realities of something like the Ten Commandments, I just look at it different now. My perception could very well easily help, you know, other people see things a different way. It's just crazy too. You can feel the agitation of the devil. Like, don't be giving people a new way to, or telling them they can just not react. Because why would you react when we're talking about self-will to begin with? Like, being forced, some people just comfortable with, like, oh, I just know who I am. But to be forced to be reminded who you are every day, because that much attention is on you, I don't care who you are. It's even like back in the segregation days too or something. Black people might have been burdened, but they was like celebrities. Like, look, it was no other people going through that. Having to sit in the back of places, come through the back door of places. When what's his name? I don't know what his name. I forgot what his name was. The baseball player. That was one of my favorite movies. I think his name Jackie Robinson. It just showed a lot of what he went through, being one of the first, what they would call Negro, Negro, Major Leagues Baseball. You know, I'm like, look at this over the history of time, because it was just many times in his stance, even during that time where a lot of his people was being persecuted. He stepped out on faith. He knew that the reaction to him accepting his own offer, his own contract, his own blessing. He knew that there was a possibility that the reaction to it could be, a lot. It's during a time where they didn't really want to see black people out there. So, they weren't in the major league sports teams yet. But it started happening because greatness comes in all different all diverse races. And the more diverse you make a workplace, a team, more and more people learn that too. It's nothing wrong with culture and community, but the more diverse it can actually be, it's actually better because you have more backgrounds, more input, more perception, more thoughts and views in a city at one time, or a community, or whatever it is. People trying to take the fun out of diverse, because what are you doing? Trying to make everything look one way, or just clone or copy everything? That was the fun in it. Creativity, the difference, the diversity. Every relationship is not supposed to look the same. We know there's a main, probably scale or balance most of them should be on, but yeah, most people's relationships should be healthy. I'm sure we all agree to that. But the realities are, and the news is even showing us, and it just make you think about, like, what is that? What is happening to why are families so broken so soon? Broken means it was once. What? That's what broken means to me. It was once something for it to be even broken, to be considered a broken family or broken household in any culture. It's just more prevalent in a certain. It ain't. I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of. It needs to be. It could use work. People should be embarrassed. Different news stories of kids now. The kids are hurting the kids. Like, come on, man. Where are they getting these weapons and where are they getting these ideas? It still goes back to. It still goes back to something. And if they don't want to blame something, it's like certain behaviors can be. Why do you think it's whole haunted movies about demon possessed kids? It's really crazy. It's really probably real out here. For real. And I don't like it. I don't feel like I have to be one of those people in the world that don't don't consider that as well, and how people might need help. But the reason I be so calm too, like, what if people learn that self-will is a whole form of self-help? Exercising that more. If you busy exercising your own self-will every day, like, what could an outside will really penetrate? Just an outside will over your life. Like, I believe we all are due respect to higher forms of authority, of course. Even when there's authorities and higher places to respect, though, what is a person's self-will? The things they want to do, that they are putting their own might into doing. I guess self-will has a little bit to do with choices. Like, what we choose to do. It's nobody making these decisions for you. That's what self-will is. It's a form of power. I'm trying to tell people, don't sleep on it. That's an original form of spiritual life, whether people like it or not. Even Kung Fu masters are going to tell you about the power of self will. And they got nothing to do with karate yet. They got nothing to do with fighting. They teach a whole new mindset with that form of art of exercise. That's not regular boxing or fighting or wrestling. It's kung fu. People win black belts, blue belts. They get very expertise. It's a game. It's a competition, of course, but it's like a game of thought process. Like it's martial law. That's way different. I mean, what is it called? Like martial arts. I mean, martial arts. I don't know where the other word came from, but I meant martial arts. And kung fu, they teach you a lot about that too. It would prove what I'm saying is true. Self will is a whole power. People just don't stop to think about it. Like, am I putting as much might of my own self will power, of my own self will drive, of my own choices? Because I feel like if you at least do that, you can let God do the rest. You can feel like, man, I haven't been able to. You know you're doing good things in life and positive forward movements and stuff, but you might be like, man, I can't even track what I've been doing when it's the good things, and it seemed like I got all the record of the bad things. I don't know. Everybody like be set up different, and it can very well like be deeper, be like spiritual or something. Cause why wouldn't people want to fight like for their families, bro? Or why would they feel like they have to surrender to fight at a certain line too? That's deep. You can't just drag a person that, like Moses, anything that was happening at their castle after he left, how would he know? They had the type of power and money to send messengers and soldiers to go find them probably. Because it's like, where's my brother going? He didn't know what his brother going through. His brother just like, bro, I gotta go out here and find me and do what's best for me. I'm telling you something powerful about self-will. Y'all like, what they got to do with family and kids? Cause where are they learning? Where are the youngsters and youth learning about the power of self-will? Your own choices. The power of self-will. If y'all don't remember nothing else from that I was trying to teach on the stream tonight, like don't sleep on the kung fu masters. Certain religions, Buddhism and different things, they very well believe in self-will, like and how powerful it is. I don't know why people trying to keep this some forbidden and hidden knowledge. And yeah, influence, peer pressure, all that stuff real too. But I'm talking about self-will. Why are so many people want to discuss power control and narcissism and all of this and how they can spot it? We should also spot where everybody have a right to their own like self-will, like their own life. Like why are so many people in line to be over control of what society? You should care. Some people passionately care, actually. That's why people are going out to do those protests tomorrow. That's crazy. I was sitting here deciding, am I going out there? I ain't going out there, man. But it was just like gonna be a whole nother I wouldn't go out there for that. Just kind of like witness history for a little while or something if I'm going out there, because people have their own reasons why they feel like they going out there to march and stuff, you know. But you can still see it on TV. You can hear about it and things like that too. People like, well, if you're not doing the footwork, you know, to some people show something that you're care about what's going on in society. More, what I'm saying, it do seem like more and more people are looking at everybody like, yeah, what side are you on? Everybody is divided somewhere with their opinions when really We all have self will though. It's like you want us to abide by the law, but we do have self will. Really, in America, you do. Now you have your rights, so you have your self will. Now you got to make choices and you got to assess things and you got to look at everything around you. Why wouldn't you have to? You have the law that you have to abide by. The laws are constantly, everly changing. You can still have a work life and keep up with the law. I work one job, I listen to the news all day, like through a shift. Because if you work a job where you just work by yourself, I ain't talking about at home, I've worked from home too. I'm talking about like just work alone, but you actually still work around people. You can have your headphones on, your earbuds. I was listening to the world news, different podcasts, and still making a paycheck. You can't tell me that can't be done. And it's great because you're minding your business. There's no way you can get into any conflict at work. Some positions, some interviews, they'll ask you, do you work better alone or can you work as a team? I tell them I'm usually coachable, flexible, either way. But some jobs, it's just a work alone job. It depend on it depend on where you work, and I've worked on both sides, like with team projects and actual positions where I work, like literally, literally alone. Like you work in the freezer all day, prepping, throwing old food away, putting the tags on the new food, chopping up everything. It's called food prep. Y'all probably don't know nothing about that. You look at a person cooking skills at home, like, well, they can't cook, but this person can show proof of. Because you got to have a food handler's license to be handling food like that. It's a whole class. I know y'all like, shut up, that's a minor license. It's a whole valley license, though. Every state requires it. That you're supposed to have that working in these food establishments. You learning the temperatures of meat, the freezer temperatures, all that. But I just used to prep food, and you might work by yourself. If they needed me, they tap me on the shoulder type jobs. Like, I'm busy doing my job, make my check, get out of here. I'm listening to the news all day. Because it's like, I'm not saying you're going to learn the laws on the news, but it's a good start of like, hey, what's going on out here? What's the news today? You might watch the weather first. It's going to tell you a lot of different things on the news, but it will have updates of political like updates. You're supposed to do the once again self-will. You can't just okay, now you done broke a law that used to didn't be a law that you can break, and you like, oh, I didn't know that changed. You think they're gonna care about that? Really, when I really think about the realities of life. So you can't stop that, the control, the growth that people want to obtain knowledge. Now you've already put that. Now that's just out there, but the self-will, people can want to obtain more and use it in that way or continue to abuse it in other ways. Like, come on, bro, you could be doing greater things. I'm sure with the with the internet, more positive things or positive heightened securities and stuff like this. That is what make the world though. Like the freedoms, the advancements. We just have to be responsible with those. And it's like the kids can't do that for us. I think it is. I think technology has slowly separated people. That's why when they go on like vacations, they try to get away from their work and go on vacations. Some of them still find themselves checking the iPad, checking the iPhone, checking the laptop, and they supposed to be on vacation. It'd be hard for people to like break away from them. They told themselves they ain't gonna even look. They ain't gonna even look at the phone while they on vacation. While they on the cruise ship, they end up pulling it out. They get bored in the moment. Let me see what everybody doing. You supposed to be on vacation. But yeah, it can be hard for people to break away from. They do all kind of different studies. These college students in a certain state had decided that they were going to go on a challenge where because I was just talking about how challenges help people grow. They can. Like, they just wanted to focus on their studies. They all ended up finding out they did better in school not using a device. Like even after school outlet, they use house phone. That's it. And they was in college, so they had free will. They could buy cell phones, they could use cell phones, they just didn't want to. They said they got more sleep, they was eating more, they felt like they had more time. The world started to look different to them because to them, everybody was like looking down at their phones all the time or checking their phones because they living without their phones. Even if it was just a experiment and it's like, hey, let's do this for a year so we can write a study paper about it. But it was things they noticed. I thank them for sharing that. There'll be positive stories on the news too about the youth. That's why I'm mentioning how young they were. You don't see a lot of like adults choosing that style of life today because most people, everything they do to keep their life together, they need a device. It's too late. People already slowly like gave over everything we used to naturally do over to just like, oh, I'll just do it on my phone. I'll just do it on my device. People work on this type of stuff. They took it offensively when I said it seemed like it was just a conclusion, my opinion in life about things in life. Like every system seems to have a glitch or it might need a system update from time to time because maybe the server is, I don't know, it might need just like a update. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But if you just stubborn like, no, I want to keep the outdated system, I want it this way, you will see. I guess we all just see what happened, but sometimes that's what it is too. A glitch could seem like just it's, but a whole system failure is even worse. A glitch is just like that, but sometimes maybe, but you can prevent that. You just do updates. You see where things need to be kind of tweaked and updated in the best way for the people. Because boy, oh boy, some people believe that black women exchange their roles in society for receiving government assistance. When I first heard that, I laughed. I laughed as a black woman because if you know anything about government assistance, it was always created unless it's like retirement or social security or what else, something like that. Why would a person just those other programs are created to just be a short term anyway. Like it's like if you're talking about those programs, you have to know what you're talking about. Some of them are more long term because it's disability or because it's some other kind, maybe military pay, like veteran pay, all that different stuff. Other than that, the other government assistance they have out here is like Medicaid, food stamps, okay, Medicare, housing. It's not absolute cuts in some places. In some places, it's just more requirements or maybe more ways you have to qualify if you're going to stay on it. And they probably already, they're saying cuts in a way that they already know it's going to be cuts. If they tell you, hey, yeah, now you got to start turning in at least 75 hours of work. Like, it ain't even got to be a check stub. Proof of training or that you in school or that you enrolled in some type of courses. Like, what are you doing to advance yourself? They've been making people start do that. Some states, they have to come in person to job training classes just to continue to qualify for EBT and stuff. It's been went to that at least in the past 10 years in a lot of places. Like some places been already started drug testing too. Like they do mandatory drug tests when you apply for certain government benefits in some states. Y'all can look it up on your own, it's true. Some places been start doing it where they do a drug test when you come in a shelter every day. They do a breathalyzer test because I guess they saw a long time ago like people's getting out of control with the public indecencies. Okay, so for the EBT and Medicare and Medicaid and stuff though, certain programs like that, they've been made it mandatory for you to either come in for their job fair and workforce classes and stuff like this, or you go enroll in your own trainings and programs and show proof that you are committing to those hours. That's how it works in most states, or they're finna get more for sure strict about that. If you're not submitting those, because people teaching it where it's like they just cutting everybody's off. No, if you was already getting it though, there are new requirements, new heightened requirements that if you're not, yeah, they have no problem cutting you off of it. If you can't turn in the necessary requirements for that benefit, or you go to work, that's all they saying. Either way, that's going to work. They understand that you doing the job training, you being in courses to get a license or to get a certifications. A person that know what they doing, they can get 5 new licenses and certifications in 1 year. That's just minimum. You might didn't go clock in somewhere, but you got proof of all these different certification courses you took. That still work. Because each one course could be 8 hours, another course 12 hours. And you can show proof that these are credit hours towards a job training or a career field. You see? So it's really childish and immature people to say a person is not working. You don't know what they're obtaining. Some people, they college students right now. Or they will be in the future, or they've been before. There's all kind of there's different levels of education. Not everybody go to college. I just read an article about that too, about some young people that cause the news be devastating sometimes about the young people, but it be positive news out there too. These I just saw a news story about that. These young college students. Oh, they all had, instead of going, well, that's the point about it. They were high school students. They were saying that they were students straight out of high school that chose not to go to college. They all took up trades and like vocational schools, those type of certification classes, and they